at least it's better than the first Ikari. Once again, we have K Amusement Leasing publishing an SNK game for some reason. And they thought it would be a good idea to publish a sequel to Ikari, one of the most frustrating playing experiences you could have on the Famicom. That game was annoyingly difficult unless you used a cheat code, and even then it took forever to complete. Ikari 2 is better, but it was also developed by Micronix, so there's a ceiling to how much better it could be. Ikari 2 is based on the arcade game Dogosoken, which roughly means Realm of the Bellowers. I'm just going to assume that that works better in Japanese. In the US, the arcade game was known as Victory Road. And you'll notice that neither of these used Ikari in the name. In Japan, the game was known for its very odd slogan,
"Thou art selected. Escape from the darkness using your own skill and strategy."
That's not a translation of it either, it's in English. The story picks up at the end of the first Ikari. Ralph and Clark have succeeded in their mission, and on the way back they're abducted by aliens. So now they have a whole new group of people to run and gun through. Ikari 2 features 5 stages, and they are much shorter than the ones in the original Ikari. However, you only have one life, and there are no continues. Well, no official continues. After you die, you can enter this code, and that will let you continue where you left off. Though it is a long code, and you don't have much time to enter it. In the arcade, you could control what direction you were shooting using a rotary dial built into the joystick. In Ikari 2 on the Famicom, if you press and hold B, you'll fire your main gun and continue shooting in the same direction as you walk around. That's not a bad solution, but it seems poorly implemented here. I found myself turning after I pressed and held B, particularly if I shot and then changed direction immediately. It seems like there's a short delay before you lock into a direction. In Ikari 2, you get to choose what weapon you want. Rather than switching when you pick up a power-up, getting one of those weapons increases the level of that weapon. You start with just machine gun at level 1 and hand grenades at level 1. And the maximum level for any weapon is 4. As you level up the machine gun, it increases its range, and then gets the ability to go through walls. However, the machine gun is pretty much useless compared to the other weapons. It's basically what you'd use if you have nothing else. And that can happen because continuing means that you lose all of your weapon power-ups. Instead, I would use the boomerang. You get it immediately, it has a better rate of fire than the machine gun, has better range than the machine gun, and starts out by being able to pass through walls. The rocket launcher doesn't really look like a rocket launcher. It's more of a flamethrower to me. It doesn't have much range, but it can destroy some tough objects, which will have additional power-ups in them. And it can injure some tough enemies, like these armored knights. The sword is the rarest weapon. It just spins around you when you hit the fire button, but it can deflect bullets and destroy any obstacles that you encounter. For secondary weapons, you have grenades or landmines. The landmines are effectively useless, so just use the grenades. You throw those by pressing the A button. There's also items that you can collect. The lightning bolts will either destroy all enemies on the screen, or freeze them in place. The wings let you pass through solid objects, but you can still be hit by enemies. The mask is armor, and it makes you invulnerable for a short period, but you can only fire straight ahead. The arrow gives you exactly one shot of a weapon that can destroy anything in one hit, and that includes bosses. The clock will send you back to the start of the previous stage, so I don't know why you would ever want to use that. And finally, the medicine bottle will heal you to full. All of the items have to be chosen, and then you have to press the A button when you return to the action. You'll still throw your grenade, you'll just also do the items effect. The arrow's an exception there, it's fired by pressing B. Now if you think this interface is messy and inconsistent, you haven't seen anything yet. While going through stages, you might encounter one of these square panels that will suck you in and take you to an extra area. Sometimes it'll be a bonus stage, sometimes it'll be a boss. On the bonus stage, you have to shoot these targets that pop out, and you can only move left and right or move your crosshair up and down. Then you press A to shoot your rifle. Now those of you paying attention might have noticed that usually you press B to fire your rifle. It's different on just this one screen. When you kill an enemy, they leave a heart behind. That's what this red blob is. And at some point, you'll encounter these bars. Just going inside one costs a few hearts. And within them you'll find stores that use hearts as currency, along with some people you can fight for additional hearts. And by additional hearts I mean 3. Given how many hearts you accumulate just playing, it's really not worth it. You can't get weapons from these shops, but you can get items. At the end of a stage, you'll find a boss. Stage 1 and 2 use the exact same boss. And assuming you can defeat it, then you collect a key and have to blow open one of these 2 statue heads. One head will put you in a tunnel that you have to fight your way through with only a machine gun. The other throws a random set of power-ups at you. Choose the one with the power-ups. When you emerge from the tunnel, you are at the most difficult portion of the game. The start of a level when there are 2 statues that fire giant exploding bullets at you. There are no invulnerability frames in Ikari 2, so anything that does damage and doesn't go away sticks to you and just about kills you instantaneously. So being dropped down in the crossfire of 2 explosive firing statues who shoot rapidly, it means you're likely going to die. Ikari 2 is a sloppy mess of a game that isn't worth playing at all. You move so sluggishly it's hard to dodge anything, so the game mainly comes down to memorizing what's coming up and shooting it before it appears. The sad thing is, this really is an improvement over the first game. There's even a 3rd game in the Ikari series coming up, and I honestly don't remember if I thought it was better or worse than this one. I guess we're gonna find out together.